If you think $5 doesn't go far, then you haven't gone to Hot Tasty Pizza. Hot Tasty Pizza for just $5. That's right, a large 14-inch cheese and one-topping pizza, just $5. Any 12-inch footlong sandwich, just $5 as well. Hot Tasty Pizza has 2 locations to serve you. Coronado Avenue in Saturn, just off the 5 in Imperial Beach, and 2401 Highland Avenue in National City. 3 words say it all, Hot Tasty Pizza. For more information, go to hottastypizza.net. That's hottastypizza.net.
Hi, Susanna.
Hey, Johnny. How's it going?
You know, that was our buddy Ricky that was doing the voiceover there.
Was that?
Yeah, for Hot and
Get
Tasty.
out of town.
Yeah, that was him.
You have a tenor? You have a baritone voice?
Well,
little modifications.
Oh, okay.
we slowed him down a little bit. I had to because I was, hi, Hot and Tasty, come and get it. I'm going, no, we need to slow him
Yeah.
down. But there again.
Sounds good. Good
not
job.
very- yeah, he did another couple of spots for us. But, you know, we're talking about Roku and Discover Video.
Yeah.
You know about that, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
where the show. It's where one
Yeah,
of the
I
places
just
you can find the
uploaded.
show.
You know, they're saying, hey, when are you going to upload more shows? When are you going to? So I uploaded a whole bunch of shows up there now. So anybody can watch it. They got the Roku. They can tune into the talk.
Of San Diego.
And they can watch the show. It's fantastic. And, of course, we're on the YouTube as well.
Yes.
And we're on the Facebooks as well.
Yeah.
And you can see all the stuff that we do on the talk.com.
Of San Diego. Yep.
So we try to put the stuff out there as far as we can. But on the Discover Video, that's when you want to have your own show. You have your own program on the Roku, which you can have 750
You can have your
channels.
own talk show on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Talking about photography, getting a bunch of people out there.
And you just call them up at Discover Video and say, hey, we want our show on Discover Video, just like the talk
Of San Diego.
has their show.
Yeah.
And they'll hook you up. Very affordable. Very affordable.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's Discover Video. Go talk to them, and they'll hook you up.
Okay.
And there again, not the reason we called, is it?
No.
No. Hey, pretty good timing, huh? Yeah. Standing O. Got a standing O. We have another guest in the green room there, huh? Behind me.
We do.
They're sneaking
He
up
looks
on
fascinated.
me. They're sneaking up on. So how many guests do you have lined up? We've already had 2 guests.
We've
you have
had 2. We've got 2 more.
2 more.
Yeah.
It's not a 2 more.
It's not a tuna.
Yeah. So maybe you would like to introduce this gentleman that's sitting next to you. He's got a
Yes.
blue shirt because he got the memo.
Yes.
So-
Everybody, all my guests need to wear blue?
Right.
Yeah. So far.
So far.
So far, so good. We'll see how everybody else does.
Yeah.
Actually, if you count him, it's 3 guests. Just FYI. So welcome to the show. Stephen Churchill is the producer of The Art of Photography, and welcome to the show.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here. So The Art of Photography, first tell us a little bit about what it is and how the idea first came about.
Yeah, the Art of Photography show has been produced since 2004, so this is our 9th year producing this exhibit. It's an international exhibition. It's actually held at the San Diego Art Institute in Balboa Park each fall.
And you've held it at different locations around town?
It's up until last year was held at the Lyceum Theater Gallery in Horton Plaza. So last year we started at the Art Institute in Balboa Park.
Susanna, could you do something about your car alarm? I've warned you about that before.
It's actually not my car, but it's
Okay.
the guy getting in. I know him. He's
Oh,
ready.
all right. Well, we'll talk over that. So continue.
It'll end eventually. Cars, planes, trains, and automobiles.
I know.
This is where
We'll
we're
have a
at
train
today,
coming through
so.
in a minute.
It's fine. So the art of photography, it seems like just a wonderful way for anyone to gain exposure to
I get it.
the curatorial community. To the curatorial community, to the movers and shakers of San Diego. And so it's now in what year now?
This is the 9th year.
9 years.
And so it's a juried competition. We always have a very highly esteemed museum curator that's the judge for the show. So this year our judge is Julia Dolan, who's the curator of photography at the Portland Art Museum. And so we spent 4 days with her here in San Diego, looking at about 13,000 submissions that we received from 85
Wow,
countries.
13,000. Did you help in that process?
Well, I
or
was
it
there,
mostly
but
her?
it's her job. That was really her responsibility, and I'm glad it's not mine.
How does
actually.
somebody go through 13,000 images?
We
What does
have-
she do? She prints them and lays them all out?
We have
or
a
what
digital
happens?
projector, high resolution. It's a very even playing field. All images look exactly the same on the screen, and she has the choice to go yes, no, or maybe. We instantly put them into a
So is it
separate
like
folder.
very like cutthroat? Like she's like, no, 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 no. Or is she like, Is she? I mean, what was her process like? Oh, your
It's okay.
notes just flew.
No worries. Well, the first pass is fairly a little bit quicker because she can kind of fairly quickly know what she doesn't want to show and what's just not going to work for her. But then as we get further along in this, smaller groups of work that we're looking at, there is longer and longer
Sifting it
time
through
being spent.
further.
Yeah.
And they're kind of different genres that you're looking for?
Yes,
Or
actually,
just
yeah.
one genre?
No, it really is pretty wide open. We don't have any sort of specific theme. We ask people to submit whatever they're into, whatever is really on in their creative mind's eye, and so that it will be, not sort of having to force them to in a box,
Did she
And-
tell you what it was that she was looking for specifically? What elements of a photograph that she thought were going to catch her eye, or
Well, a couple of things. One is that she did want to have a fairly broad spectrum of work that would be shown, so it could be a pretty broad, wide, type of imagery. But other than that, I think one of the key elements of her judging process is originality, looking for work that has sort of a unique look, something a little bit new, a little different than maybe what she's seen before. There's a lot of work that can be really well executed, but it's maybe been done a million times before, and so there's a real desire for something that's unique and has something special, something new, and a little bit.
I can see that. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of really beautiful, impactful images of India, for example, but I feel like you've seen them everywhere.
As far as the taking the pictures, can it be anything from a Hasselblad to an iPhone?
That's a good question. Actually, yeah, absolutely yes. I think the technical aspect is completely unimportant.
Oh, great.
So really, anybody, and that's sort of one nice thing about this even playing field, is that there's no, the judge doesn't see the person's name, she doesn't see, where they're from or anything. So it really is based on the image itself.
See, that's really important. Yeah, it's rare for photographers to get access to people like Julia, and so
Exactly, and that's one of the real draws to the show, I think, is that people want to have their work seen by a museum curator. It's not so easy to do in a regular work context. So she gets to see all this work, and there's actually been several occasions where our judges have, contacted some of those artists later on about exhibits he or she were doing in their museum. And so there's a lot of upside pluses to this. In addition to the exhibit itself, which opens October 12th here in Balboa Park at the San Diego Art Institute, we give away $10,000 in
October
cash.
12th. That's just a couple. You guys are all coinciding that same weekend. That's awesome.
So ours opens at 6 o'clock on Saturday, October 12th. We'll be giving away.
And that's free, right?
It's free.
Maybe we should be doing our show over there that day.
Well, that day it's chaotic. I've been to these events.
Or the day before.
Or the day before, maybe.
Or the day after, or
Or the
whatever.
day after.
I want
or
to go over
whatever.
there where they're
It
doing
is a
all those
beautiful
balloons over there.
location, though.
They're doing bubbles over
They're
there.
doing bubbles over there.
That's pretty cool.
You want to go play with bubbles?
I do. And he's in town, so I thought I'd give him a call. Old joke. Hey, so anyway, now you're at the museum, the photographic museum. That's a
No,
different.
it's the San Diego Art.
Next door, yeah. It's
Next door.
next door to MOPA.
Yeah.
In the San Diego Art Institute. It's in the same building as the Mingay Museum, which is the
and
House
the
of
Crane Museum and all that kind of thing.
Well, that's
No, it's
Yeah,
a
guess
little
what?
separate. It's
House
a
of
little
Charm is
separate.
the
We're
name
taking
of the
a break?
building.
No, we're not taking a break.
Yeah,
I
it's a
thought I
little.
heard some
It's a little
applause.
separate. It's near. It's nearby. It's near the Mingay. It's actually right attached to the Mingay International Museum.
And right
near
across the
Bazaar
plaza
Resort.
from the Museum of Art. So.
Exactly. So that would be kind of
And
neat
it's a
to do.
beautiful space. Yes, actually, we'd love to do that. Our show there.
So
if
yeah,
we can sneak it in there.
We could
that would
definitely
be
arrange
great.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
So opening night is the 12th. Big party, free event. Most of the artists will be there from 29 countries. Artists that got selected are from 29 countries. It's a really big spread. People coming from all over
Do
the
they
world.
come
to
in on
attend.
their own dollar? Or
They do.
Okay.
And it's a nice way to meet all the other artists and to meet Julia and to meet potential collectors and buyers of the art and that kind of thing. And then on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, the 13th, Julia will give a talk, a curatorial discussion about the work, about contemporary photography. So that happens on...
Is she going to focus on
Sunday.
her selection process, or
A little bit, yeah. She'll talk about that as well as,
So for anyone who wasn't chosen, maybe you can
Yes.
kind of get the
It'll
in
be-
on how to
it'll
get
be
in next
informative,
time.
yes.
Okay.
Now, when you're judging these pieces of art, do you ever look at them and say, I know who did that? And we're actually right when you say, oh, it was so-and-so, that you could recognize their work just from...
There are some pretty prominent photographers who have submitted work, this year as well as previous years. So there are occasions where we'll she'll know. She'll just say, oh, that's so-and-so. I don't think it influences the judging process. In fact, to some degree she wants to have, fresh people, fresh eyes,
Right.
fresh photographers.
But it
submitting
must
work.
be nice to have your work recognizable by somebody.
It always is.
That
of
looks like
course.
somebody,
It
yeah,
always
and
is.
it turns out to be.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
And so the reception and gala, you have an awards ceremony also, right?
Right.
So tell us about the perks of being a winner.
Well, we give away $10,000 altogether to 15 artists that were chosen by her to be the top, images for the show. The top prize is $2,000 cash grant that they can use for anything they wish.
Nice.
$1,600 for the next prize, $1,200 for the next, $800 for the next. So altogether, 15 people will be getting cash awards that night.
Yeah.
And plus, great exposure, media contacts, contact with other professionals in the field, obviously contacting.
It's a lot of mixing. And so are you you have your 10th anniversary coming up next year. Is that something that you're looking forward to and maybe a little worried about? What happens? How do you celebrate a 10th year for something like this?
Well, we're excited. We're happy. We're happy to be progressing and moving forward, and I'm happy we'll be in the park during the 100-year centennial as well.
That's right. That's going to be wonderful.
In 2015.
That'll be cool.
So we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And be right back and kind of get into that portion of it a little further.
Fantastic. We don't want him to leave yet,
No.
because that would be a
He's
shame.
No.
Yeah. So we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back.
Yes.
This is Johnny
And this is Susanna
with the talk.
of San Diego.
All recipes mentioned on the Talk of San Diego can be found on our website. All recipes on thetalkofsandiego.com. Utilizing medical doctors, physical therapists, and chiropractors all working together to better your health, Silver Strand Spine and Sport is committed to providing the most personalized, integrative, and skilled physical therapy services available. With sensitivity and compassion, we work with our patients to promote physical rehabilitation in a professional and caring environment. Located on Palm Avenue in Imperial Beach, we offer South Bay the finest care for all your physical needs. For an appointment, call 619-575-8887.
Hey, Susanna. What do you do when you're 3,000 miles from New York and you're jonesing for some wings? Now, not just any wings, but New York Buffalo Wings. That's easy. Stop on by your nearest New York Buffalo Wings. Located in La Mesa, San Diego, and Imperial Beach, you're just minutes away from mild, hot, or make you cry like a baby hot sauce. Wings, fall off the bone ribs, and fire hot chicken tenders. To find the nearest New York Buffalo Wings, go to nywingsandribs.com. That's nyribsandwings.com.
You know, I also noticed there was some beef in there. Yeah, steak, juicy. Well, I ate that too.
Hi, Susanna.
Hey, Johnny.
That's the bacon dog.
I know. I recognize
Who
that.
doesn't love the bacon dog? And
That
you know
is
what?
pretty great.
I
He needs
covered
to
it.
do more of those.
I covered it with bacon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I
yeah.
did with it then?
Yeah.
I gave it to the cat.
No!
So I threw you a little fastball there, didn't I? A little
You
curveball.
did,
Yeah.
you nut.
Because that was the tail end of one of your other spots. Yeah. I fooled you last time, too.
I did.
Yeah.
You're a dork. Well, thank you for keeping me on my toes.
Yeah, who's the dork now?
Appreciate
Hey,
it.
so we're back, and we're at the new Children's Museum.
Yes.
It says it right there on the banner, so I knew that. And you have a gentleman next to you.
Yes.
And he is part of the...
The art of photography.
I know. And what better photography is there than art photography?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite a statement.
I know.
All right.
Yeah. It's called Clutching at Straws. Yeah.
So Stephen Churchill is the producer of the Art of Photography. You have your gala event on October 12th coming up, and it's an opening reception and award ceremony at the Museum of the Living Artist, actually, in beautiful Balboa Park.
Exactly.
And so, how many people can we expect at this event?
There's usually over 1,000 people.
Wow.
It's a big event, a lot of fun. It's a lot of energy because of all the people there, and a lot of good interaction, social, connection, and talking about the work. A lot of the work is, kind of provocative and interesting and thought-provoking.
It is. I went through some of the images. It's very
Provocative?
I think one of the things that they all sort of have in common, of the ones that I selected, if I can say this, is they all have a story.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Every picture tells a story,
Yeah, but
don't it?
not necessarily.
It's a song, Susanna.
Oh, well, you with your songs. I never get your songs right. Someday you'll learn. It always pisses me on songs. I never get them. So, But yeah, that's one of the things that I noticed. Even the ones that seemed very serene and peaceful still had a little bit of tension to it that I kind of noticed. So I wonder if that's what Julia was.
I think that's one of the things she looks for. Yeah, a little bit of storytelling, narrative sort of content in the work, a little bit more of an idea maybe that's being shared, by the artist, something more personal that's going on.
Table tapping.
Sorry.
And so, how long is the show up for?
It runs October 12th through November 17th, so a total of 5 weeks.
Okay.
We'll have actually several different artist talks during that 5-week period, in addition to the creator talk on Sunday, the 13th of October.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that would like to share in conclusion is that we're photographers ourselves. That's what prompted us to do this show initially 9 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we really want to help photographers get their work out, be seen, get their work sold, and really help provide connections. And so we're really artists helping artists really is what this is about. And the Art Institute in San Diego Park is in Belleville Park rather is the ideal place for this because they are very artist oriented. It's a very art centered and artist oriented organization. They have exhibits at the Art Institute throughout the year, different thematic shows. So it's a really great place to be, both for meeting artists, buying work, and being a member. So I want to share that as a real.
Are you a member?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. So you work there sometimes and then do your exhibits?
I'm a member with COVA, which is the Combined Organization for the Visual Arts, which is a part of the San Diego Art Institute.
Okay.
And I've been a member since at least 10 years ago.
I love the concept.
Yeah.
I love that you get to show your work
Exactly.
and be a part of the action.
Same concept. I mean, it's really open playing field. Artists of any kind can exhibit in most of their shows.
Right.
Painters, photographers, visual artists.
I've seen some wonderful exhibits there, and it's a beautiful space. So let's make sure we have your website out there.
It's artoffotography.show.com.
Artoffotography.show.com, right over here. And let's see, you have... we want to make sure that people know that the event is free, so you can get out there and be a part of it. And then you
got
have...
no excuse.
You got no excuse, and it's a really good time. I mean, I've seen that you've had live music there before and things like that. Is there anything fun going on during the gala this year?
We're really focusing on the art and the artists and Julia's presence there. So that's really the main star of the show is the art and the artists.
And who's presenting the awards?
Julia and myself.
Okay, just between the two of you.
Yeah.
And what are the different tiers of awards that you can have?
So there's first, second, and third prizes basically, and then 11 honorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
So altogether,
That's a lot of honorable
$10,000.
mentions.
Yeah.
Now, what is your background in photography?
Well,
What got you started?
I've been in photography since high school and just really loved it as an art form, and my whole career has had some connection to photography, both in terms of graphic design and animation. I really did for a long time computer animation, which is sort of stemmed from my photographic background. But I've been doing this for 9 years and really love it. And so this is.
And are you still photographing the world?
Yeah, I
today?
do. I
go out
do.
and-
In fact, this show has influenced my own work, my own personal work.
How have you seen it evolve?
I used to shoot more like places and things, sort of more like objects and abstract sort of people-less pictures.
Mm-hmm.
This show has really prompted me to try and focus on photographing people, and I've been shooting.
Which is really hard.
much
to
more
do.
difficult. Yeah, I've been
You have to
shooting
kind
a
of get in their
series.
face and
Like a street photographer
Exactly,
or
yeah.
a portrait photographer?
More of a street photographer at night. I've been shooting a whole series at night downtown, but totally like flying the wall, kind of just candid shots of people interacting, trying to get that sort of narrative storytelling going on in the images. So that's my own personal.
if you come out on a Friday night, you'll get some really...
Exactly.
Now, I had seen on the news a couple of
Crazy
weeks ago,
shots.
they found boxes and boxes of negatives of this woman that used to go on the streets in New York, and she's got fantastic photography, and it was just stored away, and they pulled them out, and oh my God, and they're all black and white, and just fantastic street photography, and it's just a find.
Nice.
So, do you do print? I mean, do you do the digital or film?
I have both kind of cameras still, but I actually mostly shoot digital. Yeah.
It's just the shortcut of
It's
today.
saves some time, and it's the quality is really good, so it's not it
Yeah.
helps you to get what you need.
I remember the film, I mean, it's completely a lost art form, and it's a little sad.
It
that
is.
We're losing all of that.
Well, you can bring it back. It's not too late.
I could. It's just too much work. I'm
Yeah.
lazy.
Now, so do you do Photoshop and to enhance the stuff that you shoot, or do you try to get what you got is right there?
I use Photoshop just to kind of clean things up and make sure it looks like I was imagining or in my mind's eye in terms of color, contrast, whatever.
Dolphins jumping out of the water.
Yeah, but I personally don't do any manipulation, per se, to really, majorly alter the image.
And that's a whole completely different type of art form,
Exactly.
as well.
And that's fine. It's just not my thing.
Well, we certainly appreciate the time you took.
My pleasure.
We certainly want to come out and see the exhibit, and we'd love to do the show from your museum. That would
Let's
be
make it happen.
fantastic.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
See what
let's do it.
develops. Get it?
Okay, be sure you go. You're full of them.
I know.
Be sure you visit theartofphotographyshow.com and
And away you
check
go.
out what's going on.
There you go. So we're going to be right back after
Yep.
we take a break. This is Johnny
And this is Susanna
with the talk.
of San Diego.
Get up there, you yank! Oh! Look out with that climbing spike! Oh, my head! Look out!